It's very explicit. If you look at Section 83, it says that no court shall exercise jurisdiction with respect to internal affairs of a political party. And the section went on to say that where an action is commenced in negation of this provision, that the court shall not make any interim order of injunction or interlocutory injunction, and should leave everything to the final determination of the matter. Now, in prefacing your question, you made reference to where matters are settled, and it's unfortunate that lawyers and courts pretend not to know that certain factual situations have been decided by the court, the apex court, so that there is nothing new to be decided. While I will not use the example that you have given, and I will use the example of where a member of the executive, say governor or deputy, changes party. You see people litigating it as if it's a new thing. While as far back as 2006, in the case involving Atiku Abubakar, who was then Vice President to Olusegun Obasanjo, the Supreme Court had made it very clear that losing one seat only affects a member of the legislature, not the executive. And yet people still go to court, and court make judgments that are not in line with the decision of the Supreme Court that I've referenced. And it shows you either the lawyers have been mischievous or pretend not to know what they do, because I doubt if they don't know it, or the judges who may write such judgments are corrupt or incompetent. And our disciplinary process should work both against the lawyers involved in these actions and the judges who make such decisions.
I mean, in this sense, what happens, Mr. President, where there are disputes as to the leadership of a political party? Yes, there are decisions made by a group in the party, but yet there are unresolved issues and there are disputes generating from such. Where do they go?
So the courts and the INEC should have a dispute resolution mechanism for this. And the parties should have it as a part of the provisions in their constitution. The law as it is that the courts do not have jurisdiction, and should not also, where people have shut their eyes to these clear provisions of the law, the courts should not grant any order of injunction. And this brings me to a point which you did not raise, but which I would like to raise. And I also think, considering the confusion that is arising in our body politic in recent times, our courts should not make such orders as using Latin maxims like
status quo
ante bellum or status quo pendelitis. The court should make clear orders to what it means, so that
there's no ambiguity.
There's no ambiguity. I see situations where people go away rejoicing that the order was in their favor, now giving room for mischief or for anybody to interpret it the way they want. Where a court has chosen to make an order, it should clearly what it has set out to do, and not hide behind any Latin maxim. Seeing that in some other clime may not be a problem, but it seems that we have a peculiar situation in Nigeria where we choose to interpret laws the way it suits us. They're also leading to confusion. Because if the court means the person that was there before coming to court, or the person that make it clear,
even with names and
instances, so that when people go away, there will be no doubt as to what the court has ordered.
Status quo ante bellum is one guy that if some politician catch today, they will strangle him.
Because it creates confusion.
Status quo ante bellum is a major problem in our politics today.
We rendered it meaningless. Yeah. It's been gutted of any meaning. Yeah. So our courts should avoid using such phrases and specify what orders they are making, so that nobody will be left in doubt, or no administrative body would have to interpret it and then try to give its own decision on it.